We are now into early June here in 2024, and the Chicago White Sox stink. They are currently in last place in the American League Central, about 2 games behind the Detroit Tigers. And one of the reasons for that has been the lone good hitter of the 2023 campaign, and Eloy Jimenez has gotten off to a slow start here. He has an OPS just above 700, currently sitting at 704 in 244 ABs. We also have Seby Zavala, who has been brutal as our catcher against right-handed pitching here. You saw last episode he had the 2 throws that he threw into the outfield on stolen base attempts and runs scored on both of them. He hasn't been good at the plate, and he's been so bad that his potential has actually been docked down from a C to a D, and he's already regressing. Some good news, though, on the White Sox front is that Luis Robert Jr. is back, sliding into that 3-hole against both right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching. And in order to make room for him on the roster, it is going to be Victor Reyes going back down to AAA because, unfortunately, he was a spark plug last season, but he was not doing spark plug type things for us this season, so he's going to go down to Charlotte and play down there. But some other good news is that Michael Rucker has been shoving in the bullpen for us this season. He has a sub-1 ERA in 38 1/3 innings pitched. Get that trade value up. I made the right decision holding on to him and not Holderman. We are here on the south side of Chicago as the White Sox are going to be playing host to the Texas Rangers here at Guaranteed Rate Field. On the bump for them is the right-hander Jon Gray making his 13th start of the season. Take a look at the Sox lineup on the day with Luis Robert Jr. back in it, as well as Michael Kopech on the hill for the Sox making his 13th start here in 2024. Also take a look at the Rangers lineup listed 1 to 9 on the day. We'll start things off with that lineup here. Top 1, Raimel Tapia leading things off, and he's going over the head of Colas in right field, and that's going to be a leadoff double for the Texas Ball Club. Brings up Leody Taveras, who grounds one over to shortstop, and that is 1 down. Runner stays put at second base. Brings up Corey Seager. He would proceed to hit a high fly ball into right field. Colas does not give chase as Robert comes over from center to put it away. Nobody tags up, and then with 2 outs, it is Garcia going down on the high cheese. So Kopech strands the runner at third. Move things on to bottom of the first, where Nick Gordon starts things off for the Sox with a line drive up the middle. So he's got himself a leadoff base knock. Then it brings up Andrew Benintendi, who slices one into left field. That lands in and hops up over the glove of Tapia into the corner. And Nick Gordon's going to score all the way from first base. It's an RBI double, and the Sox strike first. It's 1-0. Then Luis Robert, welcome back. Line drive up the middle. Benintendi scores from second. RBI single, 2-0 lead for Chicago. Then Robert, showing that the legs are still there, goes and swipes second base. So he's in scoring position. Brings up Gavin Sheets, who hits a line drive into left field. Caught, nobody moves up, so 1 down. Brings up Eloy Jimenez, who just pulverizes one to left center field. Kiss that baby goodbye. 2-run shot off the bat of Eloy, and it makes it a 4-0 lead here for Chicago in the first inning. They were not done there as Oscar Colas comes up, chops one into the hole, and that's going to be an infield single. Then Carlos Perez comes up and connects on one to right field. This one over the fence into the bullpen. The Sox catcher with a 2-run blast here in the first, and it's already a 6-0 lead here for the Sox as the offense finally starting to show up here as already Jon Gray comes out of the game. Forrest Whitley comes on. We'll check things in with him later on as you see Kopech strikes at Semien. Also strikes out Nathaniel Lowe for 2 down, and then you guessed it, Josh Young, I know it's Young, whiffs through the slider. The Texas Tech man goes down swinging. Kopech strikes at the side. So move things on bottom 2 now. Nick Gordon, right back where he left off, slaps one to the left side. That's a base knock. Then it's Benintendi. Pulls one. Kiss that baby goodbye. 2-run shot, another 2-run bomb here in this game for the White Sox. And Benintendi extends the lead to 8-0. And they still weren't done. Eloy Jimenez. Maybe this will be the turning point he needs to get things started as he absolutely squishes that one into the left field seats, his second home run of the game. It's now a 9-0 lead. And then Kopech had it dialed in today, strikes out Garcia for the final out of the 4th inning. Then the top of the 5th, Simeon gets his team on the board as he hits a high fly ball in left field that gets over the fence, so no shutout for Kopech. But that would not faze him, as then Ezekiel Duran comes up, goes down swinging for out number 2, and then Sam Huff comes up and he would also go down swinging on a slider. So 2 Ks in the inning for Kopech, move things on bottom 5. How about Eloy Jimenez trying to go for home run number 3, a high fly ball left field, but Tapia puts it away right at the wall. Nothing else would be going for either team. The Sox do end up winning this one 9-3, as the Rangers did put up a couple more on the board, but still just a complete blowout here by the Sox as the offense finally starting to put things together here. Eloy Jimenez gets player of the game honors for his 2 homers on the day. Andrew Benintendi had a home run and a double as well. Carlos Perez had a home run, and then Michael Kopech spun a gem on the day as well. 6 2/3, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, only 1 walk, and 3 earned runs for the Sox right-hander. And then before we move on here to the next game, we do have one little thing to go over, and that is that Michael Hellman, the Rule 5 tenure for him on the White Sox has come to an end. He just has not been good, and I just don't think he's good enough of a player to really just keep playing there. It's not like he's a B potential or anything like that. He's just sort of a guy that we thought maybe could be decent value, but has not really proven to be that. So Michael Hellman is going to get put on waivers and returned to the Minnesota Twins organization once he clears. And that means that we are going to be calling up a different bat from AAA to play some outfield for us, and that is Yusniel Diaz. He has been down in AAA Charlotte for us. We picked him up in the offseason, and he has been hitting pretty decently well down there in Charlotte, getting on base at a good clip, has some good splits against left-handed pitching as well. And if this name sounds familiar to you, it is because he was probably one of the main pieces back in the Manny Machado trade that the Orioles had. And then Diaz just never really panned out. But we're going to be giving him a shot here in Chicago. The Sox are once again playing host here on the South Side. Here at Guaranteed Rate Field, it is the Ohtani-less Angels. Here sitting at 40-34 on the year, sending out the left-hander Martin Perez on the bump for the 15th time this season. Take a look at the Sox lineup on the day listed 1-2-9, as well as the opposing pitcher in Lucas Giolito making his 15th start here for Chicago. We'll start things off, top half of the second inning. Garrett Cooper clubs one into left center field. This one's going to get down into the gap, up against the wall, actually hop up over the wall. That's a ground rule double, so he's in the scoring position. Brings up Gio Urshela, and he hits one over the head of Yusniel Diaz in right field. That's up off the wall, and that'll score Cooper. So the Angels strike first in this one. They're up 1-0. So runner on second base. Max Stassi goes down swinging. That's 1 down. Then it brings up Escobar. Grounds one over to second base. Check out Bobby Dahlbeck making a great play at second base, and then it brings up Michael A. Taylor, who proceeds to hit a line drive right at Benintendi, who hasn't perfectly played. So a 1-0 lead is taken into the top of the third, where Joe Adell just lays down just an absolutely cheesy bunt there, gets on first base with his blazing speed, and then he would proceed to not advance as Dahlbeck is once again showing off the glove at second base. There's that number 1, and then a ball gets away from Perez there, but it's ball 4, so it's runners on first and second here with 2 outs, and then a line drive up the middle by Garrett Cooper as he drives in another run on the day. It's a 2-0 lead now for the Halos, and then Gio Urshela comes up, and Giolito does get out of it as he punches him out with a fastball to end the top half of the second. Move things on to the third. Here is Benintendi. Pokes one into left center field. That lands in for a base knock, so he's on first base. Brings up Andrew Vaughn, who chops one over to third base, and then Urshela chucks this one, pulls Rendon off the bag, so everybody is safe. 2 down now. Eloy Jimenez comes up, and he continues, or I should say he's getting back on track here as he just hits one into left center field. That'll clear the bases, and it's a tie ball game here thanks to the Chicago DH. And then it brings up Bobby Dahlbeck, who hits a line drive, or a high fly, I should say, to deep center field, but Mike Trout is there to put it away right at the wall. So 2-2, bottom 4 now. Carlos Perez. This time, Trout cannot make the catch on it, as Perez is going to have himself a double here to keep the inning alive. That'll bring up Yusniel Diaz as he slices one opposite way into the corner. RBI single for Diaz. And I'm not actually sure if this is true or not, but in game, it says that was his first career Major League hit, so congratulations to Yusniel Diaz as he gives the Sox the lead, and then Giolito would immediately give it up as Max Stassi hits a high fly ball to left field, and then Benintendi tries to rob it, but it hits off his glove and over the wall, so Max Stassi ties the game here for the Angels. Move things on later in the inning as Giolito strikes out Taylor to end the inning. Then Michael Rucker comes on here in the 8th, looking to continue his excellent season, and he would do just that. Gio Urshela, he comes up, he sits down, fastball blown by him, and then a runner will be stranded on a 3-2 count here as another man is whiffed through a fastball. 2 Ks in the inning for Rucker. Scoreless frame for him. Matt Moore comes on at the bottom of the 8th for the Halos for the 26th time this season, and he's facing Luis Robert Jr., who hits one into center field, so that's going to be a leadoff single for the center fielder. And then it brings up Jimenez, as Robert goes and swipes second base, so he's in scoring position. And then Jimenez hits a fly ball into center field. Trout ranging back. Robert is not going to tag on Trout's arm, but then Dahlbeck hits one into center, and just the way that Trout had to position his body, Robert decides to tag on this one, so he gets there into third base, so now 2 down, runner on third, brings up Sam Haggerty, and he grounds one up the middle, and that'll score a run as the Sox reclaim the lead. It's now a 4-3 ball game. So Gregory Santos in top 9, looking for the save here in a 1-run game. It's Joe Adell. Hits a little blooper into center field. That lands in front of Robert. So his speed is on first base to start things off. Brings up Zach Neto, who would go down looking on the slider. So 1 down in the inning. Then Joe Adell goes and attempts to steal second. Instead, it's a chopper to Moncada at third. Nice play by him for out number 2. And then Mike Trout. Little circle change there, runs in on Trout, plunks him. So there's 2 down, brings up Garrett Cooper, who was nails on the day, but not here. Pops one up to Yusniel Diaz, puts it away, and the Sox do come out on top 4-3 here in this game. Eloy Jimenez picks up player of the game honors once again. He goes 2 for 4 on the day with a double and 2 runs driven in. Luis Robert Jr. had a 2-hit day as well with a stolen base. Lucas Giolito, solid production, 6 innings, only 3 earned runs, and 6 Ks. And then Michael Rucker continues to be great this season out of the bullpen, picks up the W as well. And Gregory Santos gets his 5th save since being moved to the closer role. The White Sox are going to be hitting the road this time as they head out to an AL Central foe, the other cellar dweller here in the division, the Detroit Tigers, here at Comerica Park. On the slab for them, it's going to be the left-hander Tariq Skubal, making his 17th start of the season, and he'll be opposed by Sean Jelly, rocking, looking slick in those away powder blue unis here for the White Sox. Start things off bottom half of the first inning, it's Akil Baddoo with a lead-off home run for the Tigers. And they jumped out to a lead here, 1-0 in this ball game. We'll move things on. Top 2 here is Bobby Dahlbeck. Grounds one over to first base, and then I don't even know how to describe what happened there. Just a throw behind the pitcher, so Dahlbeck ends up on second base. Here with 1 out, brings up Moncada, who would proceed to then just ground one over to Baez at shortstop here with 2 outs, and then he shows off that he still has the glove. So now it's still 1-0. Bottom 2 here. Ground ball over to second base, 4-6-3 double play. So 2 down in the inning now, brings up Javi Baez, and he says, not so fast, not a clean inning for you. Hits one into center field over the head of Robert, and that's going to be a double with 2 outs, so it brings up Nick Matone, and the Wolfman absolutely clobbers one into right field seats, a 2-run blast, and the Tigers extend their lead in this one to be 3-0. Move things on to the top of the 4th, where the Sox bats come alive. Andrew Vaughn comes up, hits a fly ball to deep center field. This one's going to get over the glove of Hunter Green, and the first baseman has himself, or I guess second baseman. I don't know where he's playing on the day, honestly, but wherever he's playing, Vaughn gets a double, and then Luis Robert Jr. pulverizes one into left center field, a 2-run blast. and the White Sox are right back in it. It's a 3-2 game here, and they were not done. Bobby Dahlbeck gives a charge to one into left center field. This one's off the wall, and Dahlbeck has himself a double here with one out. Then it brings up Sam Haggerty, 3-1 count. He goes out to right center, continues to hit well against lefties only when I'm using him and not in the sim. And then it comes up with a game-tying triple here as he's on third base, so it's a 3-3 game. And then Moncada comes up, grounds one through the left side hole, and that gives the Sox their first lead of the game as the Tigers have blown a 3-0 lead. So move things on, top 7 now, a little later on in the game. It's now Yusniel Diaz who slaps one past the first baseman for a 2-out single, and then he would show off some speed as he goes and swipes second base, so he's in scoring position with the fleet feet. Brings up Benintendi hits one into right center field. That'll get into the gap. Diaz scores easily from second base, and Benintendi just trades places with him. Or actually, he goes to third there, picks up a triple, and then Vaughn would proceed to line out as Kerry Carpenter lays out and makes the catch. So no more runs come in. 5-3 game here. Garrett Crochet on the hill in the bottom of the 7th, and a bloop in there from Baez is then Nick Matone. Once again, right field, this one's into the seats again. A 2-home run game for the Wolfman, as that one would tie this game up at 5. So top 8 now, Joey Wentz on the hill for the Tigers, and Eloy Jimenez singles into left field with one out, so he's on first. Then it brings up Bobby Dahlbeck, who grounds one into the left field corner there. It is cut off. There's just going to be a single for everybody, so first and second now, Nick Gordon comes on to pinch run at second base. And it would proceed to be Sam Haggerty. Once again, hitting against the left-hander, another single. And Gordon does immediately show that he has the speed, so he scores from second base. And the Sox take a 6-5 lead. Erasmo Ramirez comes on out of the bullpen for Detroit. Yon Moncada line drive right at the second baseman Young, and then it would be Carlos Perez grounding one over to shortstop. So 2 down in the inning, and now 3 down. Nothing else comes in for the White Sox. Michael Rucker comes on here in the bottom of the 8th, looking to just keep this lead intact. And of all people, Michael Rucker gives up a solo shot here, and it's a tie game once again. The back and forth continues. Austin Meadows strikes. So it's a 6-6 game. We move things on into extra innings, where Brendan White is on the hill for the Tigers. Ghost runner on second base, and Luis Robert Jr. hitting a line drive in the left field. Runner tags up over to third base. So 1 down, runner on third brings up Nick Gordon. He proceeds to hit one into right field over the head of the second baseman, and that will give the Sox a 7-6 lead here in this game. So then Aaron Bummer comes on looking for the save in the bottom of the 10th, his 36th appearance of the season. Ghost runner on second, ground ball to short. DeYoung tosses across the diamond. That's 1 down. Then Carpenter chops it back to Bummer. He goes to first with it. Nobody comes in to score. 2 down. And then Eric Haas gets jammed on the inside pop-up. Benintendi played him perfectly. And that would be the end of the game as the White Sox hang on for another 1-run win. 7-6 here over the Tigers. Looking slick in the Powder Blues and getting the W. Luis Robert Jr. welcome back from the IL officially as he picks up Player of the Game honors with his 2-run absolute monster homer. Sam Haggerty had a triple on the day. Andrew Benintendi had a triple on the day. Nick Matone's 2 home runs on the day for the Tigers was not enough for his team, though, as they obviously dropped this one by 1 run. And then Sean Jelly does go 5 2/3 on the day. Only 3 earned runs given up, so not a bad performance by Jelly. Now, with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Chicago White Sox franchise here on MLB The Show 23. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying Rutgers football is going to embarrass themselves on national TV on Sunday against Northwestern of all teams.